So I'm going to kind of draw on the background to this video, which is some of you may not have seen or heard the hype, which is Trisha Paytas made a video, Meet My Alters, saying that she has dissociative identity disorder, whereas people are upset because basically what she was describing wasn't really dissociative identity disorder at all. It was more borderline personality disorder, which I'd like to kind of go into both her side and then the reaction, which I'll start with her side, is that if she has mentioned previously that she was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. So considering this, one of the main symptoms, a very big symptom of borderline personality disorder is a kind of a difficulty identifying with the self, kind of varying points of views, differing, and self-identity is very much skewed. So it would be understandable that if she has borderline personality disorder, then she would have a difficult time understanding herself. And also, I think that she had a major misunderstanding of what dissociative identity disorder actually was. Another point is she's kind of human. When we look at the reaction of people, I mean, honestly, there's a good reason to be upset that there was a lot of misinformation. One of the things she was claiming was that multiple personalities and dissociative identity disorders were two separate conditions, whereas they're actually the same thing. Multiple personalities is simply outdated because well, her video is a bit of a proof that it's misleading. Multiple personalities makes you think that you're kind of varying. You know, sometimes I'm like this when I'm at work. Sometimes I'm like this when I'm at home. I'm like this with my parents. I change personalities. It's really not changing personalities. It's changing identity. It's changing. It's different individuals in one body. Whereas multiple personalities, the way that Trisha understands it and the way that it was the reason why it was changed to dissociative identity disorder is because it's misleading. It makes you think that you're talking about a personality. So it is one thing, and she had a lot of misconceptions that were there, and it's understandable that people would be very upset and thinking that she's trolling, but the way that I understood it from the video, and I mean, she really seemed to think that this is what this was, which, I mean, I don't think she was trolling. I think she honestly had a misconception, and it wasn't something that was done maliciously. So if you consider people's reactions and the way that they're apparently threatening to kill her, even if they're not doing those things, they're kind of being really, really cruel. There are different ways to approach a reaction on it. Do we want to kind of consider Trisha's perspective as being not only a person who has borderline personality disorder and who has a bit of a crisis of identity, clearly, and doesn't relate to herself or doesn't know how to understand herself or her perspective, and that she's human and she makes mistakes. But do we want to be the kind of people that kind of rally everyone else to gain up on her and act kind of worse than she did? She may have kind of damaged a lot of the misconceptions about dissociative identity disorder. But I think that if anything, by her doing this, the barriers are now more clear with the public as to what is borderline personality disorder and what is dissociative identity disorder. So I mean, it's commonly considered that it's the same thing, but it's not. So maybe that's kind of where she kind of got off too. I just really think that the way that we're reacting in general, Twitter, YouTube, I mean, all these, I mean, clearly her reaction, her video did harm, but she didn't mean to. We're kind of intentionally doing what we're doing. I think that if we're going to do good, there's people out there that are trying to explain, you know, Trisha's side, not just be attacking. I think that most people, the videos that I saw, were actually positive because they weren't insulting her. I kind of saw her reaction video to the saying that she was faking, or and she was very raving, but that's also borderline personality disorder. It causes you to have rage attacks or anger swings, and that was clearly one of them, which she seems to identify with another personality. She thinks that that's someone else. She calls them everything with a T, apparently. But she identifies her anger as someone else and like her emotions as other personalities. But you know, with dissociative identity disorder, one alter won't be one thing. Like one alter won't be just anger. They'll be rounded. They'll have other perspectives in them. Like I have alters who are very sad or very happy. I used to think of the happiness as all that they were. Like they're just happy. And then I kind of realized, you know what, they're not just happy. They're also sad sometimes. They get sad when they get super excited and they come out and they're acting like a very young child. And then everyone's giving them, you know, WTF looks, and that makes them sad. So they're not just happy. They're also persuadable to normal individual reactions as people. So that you can't say, okay, my anger is this person, and my sensitivity is this person, and when I'm not strong, that's this person. So it's not like that. And if we're going to address Trisha's video, I think that the better way to go about addressing it is to explain some of the misconceptions that she brought up and clarify them. And I don't think that it's a good idea to necessarily just attack. It's mostly making us into what we're saying that she is, when really she didn't have any ill intent. I mean, she may have wanted some kind of attention status. It's possible, because that other video just came out, an interview with people with dissociative identity disorder. So she might have wanted to jump on the bandwagon, but that's not necessarily her being malicious. It's she's not well, and she doesn't understand herself, and she doesn't understand dissociative identity disorder. Initially, I was upset about Trisha's video, and I wasn't writing comments, like hateful comments, but I was you know, what is this? I can understand where everyone's reactions would come from on that respect, but I think that we need to kind of center ourselves and consider where Trisha's coming from and where we should be coming from.